Only 1,945 pounds, a little Rockwood A128. I would say making a splash here at Advantage One RV Brokers, but given its tiny size and stature, it might be a little more appropriate to just say making a drip. Now, if you are familiar with Rockwood's A-frame lineup, you're going to look at this and say he gave it the wrong name. This is an A122. The 128 had a rear dinette. Well, these folks did the same thing that basically every other 128 owner did, and they converted the dinette into a full-time queen bed. Well, that's why the 128's not built anymore, and the A122 carried on, because other than the dinette versus bed in the back, they were the exact same camper. So you can see they took out the little dinette cushions back here, put in a nice residential queen bed. They put a short queen in, there we go, even though this actually does have room for an 80-inch long queen, and apparently just kind of filled it up with a couple little foamy jobs there, technical term. Now, one of the cool things about these skylights that we're looking at are deceptively deep. If you are the person sleeping on the, the inside wall of the camper, you actually have, like, the biggest perception, because you're actually going to, if you leave the shade open, of course, be looking up at the stars. Now, down below that, I actually put, like, a heavy-duty plywood deck down here. But if I get you down below, you will see the combination electric heater and air conditioner. As long as you have 110 park power or generator, that can be either your electric AC or an electric furnace. The RV does also include a propane furnace with a 12-volt fan, as well as an XL 12-volt fan above my head that we'll see when I turn around. Now, the sticker's still on the microwave, so I don't know if they just never used the microwave or if they replaced it, but that's not something you find every day. It has TV hookups. Over here is our Bluetooth DVD sound system. Does not have HDMI input. This was made slightly before that. It looks like a little bit of water dribbled on here at some point. Unfortunately, this countertop is swollen slightly, and this is one of two notable, I would say, defects, even though it's exceptionally minor. If I see something, I say something, ladies and gentlemen. We try to do good, fair business here at Advantage One RV Brokers, no different than down the street at Haylett RV. This is just our consignment store, in case you're curious about the two different names. This is where we sell RVs on behalf of their owners, but we still do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, RV delivery, and everything in between. This is such an easy, smart way to help keep the temperature more easily managed in direct sunlight. That little Reflectix kind of tin foily bubble wrap, you slap that up in the windows after you cut it down to size, you're good to go. The table can fold down into a sleeping area, into a dinette, I almost said, what an idiot. The table can fold down into a sleeper and take it outside for picnics. You can float it around here so it's easy to get in and out. Down below you see our propane furnace, as well as things like the switch for the water pump and water heater and the converter panel, which would basically in a house be called like your fuse box. Now, this is a three-way absorption fridge, passive absorption, so it's 12-volt, 110, and propane, meaning cold, colder, coldest. It is different from today's a little more modernized compressor fridges, so keep that in mind. We can run you through the differences if you give our team a call if you need to. I also like the big 3-burner stovetop here, because that can fold down to create some pretty decent prep space, and up top is that larger fan. Now, what's also cool about these is I'm like 6'3". I'm a tall guy with long arms. I can't touch the ceiling of this thing. These A-frames, they're kind of like the camper equivalent of a VW Bug. Like, you look at it and go, that is tiny. But then you sit in it and you go, oh, there's more space here than I guess I would have realized at first. And remember, only you. So, fun fact while we're talking about Smokey the Bear. My grandfather had a tendency to say things to his grandson here that he maybe shouldn't have, to scare a little child thinking he was being funny. Probably why I have a propensity to do something very similar with my daughter. But he always told me that Smokey the Bear would show up out of the woods, and the shovel was so that he could bury the bodies of the people that he killed when they didn't put out their fires. So there's a true story for you. Maybe now a couple things about your wacky old Uncle Josh the RV nerd might be making a little bit more sense, eh? Back to the task at hand here, point at hand. I don't even know what I'm doing, it's hot. Aluminum structure in the walls, the front, the rear, and what's kind of cool is the two roof sections are actually basically just laminated sidewalls. They're very light, and if you've never done it, these things go up and down very quickly and easily. If you've never done it, maybe 2 minutes. Once you're experienced, you can have this thing like flipped up and open in, I don't know, 30 seconds or less. It's simple and easy. Up front, you see a dual propane tank system with auto changeover regulator, which is something a little bit more like a travel trailer might have. And if you're really noticing, it basically has the equipment of a travel trailer, just folds down. Now, I mentioned that if I see something, I say something. The RV, you can see, has been like, you know, they've gone through and they've resealed stuff. It's old enough, you should be seeing things like that. If you didn't, there would be a problem. It looks like they've gone through every little thing and stayed on top of it. And it must have been proactive because I don't see signs of leaks inside. It does look like they jackknifed a little sharp though, and something punched the front of that diamond plate right there. There's one more defect on the back, but I'll show you where they address that as well. The water heater here is gas only, auto ignition. That will give you, it's a 6-gallon vessel by the way, but that recharges about 11 point something or other gallons of hot water per hour. Over here we have our little outside shower in case you got to do a little, you know, cowboy rinse down. That grate, by the way, is the back of the combo heater air conditioner. And then the rear corner back there. First of all, let me just get you, you know, a full-on view of it. But it looks like they tail whipped it at some point. This is not, from what I can tell from my experience, I don't think this is leak signature. And it looks like they turned too sharply. The tail of this hit something, but they went through and they resealed everything. It's a bummer it's there, but that's also one of the reasons it's $7 grand and not 15 like a brand new one. So, you know, you kind of, that goes with the territory. It's kind of like my car. It's got a little rusty dent on the hood. It's been there since the day I bought it. It hasn't gotten any worse. As long as I continue to maintain my car, it won't. As long as you continue to maintain this camper, it won't get any worse either. Another cool thing about these, when you do fold them down for travel, they just don't have that big headwind signature like, you know, a big trailer or fifth wheel could. So they're easy towing. They're ideal for smaller vehicles like SUVs and some smaller class kind of crossovers. They can do things and go places, ideal for like state parks, national parks, that big trailers like that motorhome back there just, you know, wouldn't be as conducive to doing. So if that sounds good to you, give our team a call. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.